The junior guard out of Israel, number 4, the senior guard out of Miami, Florida, number 55, Darius Wright. The graduate forward, number 13, E.J. Charles. The junior out of Spain, number 21, Hector Anatarte. And the graduate forward, the man in the middle, number 32, Carter Fahey. Your Fighting Saints are coached by Mr. Ryan Marks.
Good evening and welcome once again to the University of St. Francis and the Sullivan Center as we bring you Fighting Saints basketball. The men's team now takes on the Calumet College of St. Joseph men's team after the St. Francis women's team just took care of business. Try to make it a doubleheader Fighting Saints sweep here. The Saints in white, Crimson Wave in crimson, and we are underway. The tip is won by Calumet, going from left to right here in the first half of today's game. 20 minutes on the first half clock. As Calumet starts their first possession, driving inside, scooping it up and missing is Shimon Garrett. And Carter Fahey takes it the other way for the Fighting Saints. Fahey into traffic, all the way inside and misses on the layup. So both sides miss on an attempt in the paint to get things started today. And Calumet will try to break the early scoring struggle. A drive, layup, no good. That time from Reggie Lowry. Here's E.J. Charles for the Fighting Saints. Up top to Fahey. Fahey dribbles once to the left, passes off to Aitor Anabadarte. Inside Charles against a double team on the left block, passes outside. Anabadarte fires a three. It's in and out. Nadav Gerner working for the steal off the rebound, and he's pushed out of bounds. Foul called on Calumet. So give me a chance to run through the starters once more. For Calumet, it's O'Shawn Lee, Floyd Davis, Reggie Lowry, Shimon Garrett, and David Nelson. Fighting Saints, a very veteran starting staff. Nadav Gerner, E.J. Charles, Aitor Anabadarte, Carter Fahey, and Darius Wright. 3 seniors, 2 juniors in the lineup for the Fighting Saints today. E.J. Charles has the basketball on the right side. Charles bounces down low to Carter Fahey. Fahey working low against David Nelson. Turnaround, no good. Nelson grabs the rebound, knocked out of bounds by E.J. Charles. Charles is the leading returning scorer for the Fighting Saints, who are playing their first game of the season. Calumet's had a little bit of experience already this year. They are 0-3. They won their lone exhibition game back in late October. This is the first time that St. Francis has been out there as a team this year. Their exhibitions are scheduled for this coming week. Here's a drive, layup is blocked, and rebound brought in by Reggie Lowry, taken away by the Saints. Here's Anabadarte, ahead for Nadav Gerner. Gerner gives it up to the cutting Carter Fahey, deflected and stolen. David Nelson deflected it. Shimon Garrett came away with the steal, and he's fouled going towards the sideline by the junior Nadav Gerner.
St. Francis foul, number 4, Nadav Gerner, his first, team first.
Almost 2 minutes in, no points yet. Each team has turned it over once. We've seen a combined 0 for 6 from the field. Lowry passes to his right. Up top, it's O'Shawn Lee. Lee dribbles once, kicks it to the left wing. Down to the corner, David Nelson tries the three. Misses off the back rim. Rebound tapped in the hands of Gerner. Lobbed ahead for Fahey. It's one-on-one. Fahey's layup is good. And we're on the board here. St. Francis strikes first on the Carter Fahey layup. That makes it 2-0. A season ago, Fahey scored 6 points per game off the bench for St. Francis. Makes his first start in a couple of years today. Step back jumper for Garrett. Does not fall. Hits the front iron. Can't get the roll. Here comes Darius Wright working it the other way. Wright tries to fling it up top. His pass is deflected by Floyd Davis and taken away. Here's Lee. Picked up by Fahey in the corner. Lee slows it down. 10 seconds gone from this possession as O'Shawn Lee sets up his offense. Lee, step back three-pointer. Too short. Offensive rebound, it's Davis. Here's Lowry in the corner. Reggie Lowry, step back three. That's short. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Anabadarte by Floyd Davis, and Davis lays it in. So after a 3+ minute scoring drought, the Crimson Wave are on the board. We're tied at 2, just over 3 minutes in. Nadav Kerner throws it off to Carter Fahey. Fahey fires right. This is Darius Wright. Wright fires the three in the face of O'Shawn Lee. It's no good and rebounded by Calumet. Nelson's pass deflected by E.J. Charles out of bounds. Charles scored 12 a game last year for the Fighting Saints. He is the leading returning scorer. Joey Bajemi led the team at 13 points per game last season. Bajemi's still around, but he's on the coaching staff now. It was a very balanced offensive attack last year for the Fighting Saints. Scored 76 a game as a team as a foul is called on Anabadarte here. But nobody averaged more than 13. Second foul on the Saints. That's the first on Aitor Anabadarte. Justin Phillips is in the game for St. Francis. Phillips, senior transfer from Alfred University, gets his first action in a Fighting Saints uniform as David Nelson works his way inside and scores. First lead of the game for Calumet. Our score is 4-2. Anabadarte passes up top to Justin Phillips. 5'11" tall senior guard, works his way towards the sideline. Bounce back up top, over to the left wing. It's Darius Wright. Wright bounces to E.J. Charles. Charles with 6 to shoot, finds Fahey at the free throw line. Carter Fahey puts it on the floor, forces up the jumper with the shot clock running down, no good. Off the front rim, rebounded by David Nelson. Nelson carries it the other way, 4.5 minutes in. Just 6 points on the board. Sluggish offensive start in this game for both sides. O'Shawn Lee drives inside around Darius Wright, lays it in. Nice drive by O'Shawn Lee. Lee's got his first 2. It's a 6-0 run for Calumet. St. Francis is now 3 minutes in without scoring. Lobbed off to E.J. Charles. Charles drives with the left hand. Pull-up jumper is too strong. Rebound deflected, and Nelson scoops it up. Over 3 minutes now since the Saints last scored. They trail by only 4, though. They played well defensively so far. Drive from Lee, dishes it off down low to Nelson, blocked from behind by Charles. But it's brought back by Floyd Davis, and Davis flips it up with his right hand and makes it an 8-0 Calumet run. Still early here. Saints out of sync offensively so far. Fahey down low, lobs it up top to Darius Wright. 3 white shirts sitting at the scorer's table right now as Wright fires a 3 and knocks it down. That ends that scoring drought, and it ends an 8-0 Calumet run. It's a 1-possession game. The big 3 from Darius Wright. Let's see if that gets the offense rolling a little bit. Wright was a 38% shooter from the outside last year as David Nelson knocks down the jumper. 4 points for Nelson. Calumet is starting to hit its stride offensively. After starting the game out 0 for 7, they have made 5 of their last 6 field goal attempts. Phillips down in the post. Anabadarte lays it in. Aitor Anabadarte scores for the first time this season, first time in 2 seasons. After a promising freshman campaign, he missed all of last year with an injury, so it's good to see him get rolling here in his first game this year. 3-pointer is banked in by Dylan Hill. There have been some contact on the shot as well. No foul called, but Dylan Hill is able to knock one in from the outside and build the lead back to 6, matching their biggest advantage of the half. Wright lobs it for E.J. Charles. Charles goes up high for it, and he's fouled by David Nelson. First foul on Nelson, second on the Crimson Wave. E.J. Charles will get 2 free throws. Charles looking for his first point of the season. He's got it. It's an aspect of his game that has improved dramatically. As a sophomore a couple of years ago, he really struggled from the line. Last year, he was a very reliable free throw shooter, 74%. It's 1,000% this year, 100%. Can't be 1,000%. That's bad mathematics, but he's 1 for 1. This to make it a 4-point game, and he's 2 for 2. And he checks out as Lewis McGlasson comes in for the Fighting Saints. After the first free throw, a few other subs came on. Don Joaquim guarding the ball right now, his first appearance. Casimir Ochiaka is in for the first time as well. Drive and kick. This is Reggie Lowry inside. Back out to Floyd Davis. Davis is fouled and he connects. A chance now for a 3-point play. So a blocking foul called on the Fighting Saints. Their 3rd team foul. Foul is called on number 14, Don Joaquim, as the free throw goes through. It's 16-9, biggest lead for Calumet. Junior from New Zealand, Rehana Maxwell Topia, is in for the first time as well. He was trying to get the ball inbounds, but before he could, there was a foul called on the defense. 3rd foul on Calumet, it's on O'Shawn Lee. Lobbed in for Joaquim, out ahead of the defense. Saints have numbers here. Don Joaquim takes it inside, misses on the runner, and a foul is called on the floor against Calumet. Ochiaka was grabbed there. Second in a row on O'Shawn Lee. Justin Phillips will be the inbounder. Shimon Garrett checks back in for Lee for the Crimson Wave. This is Ochiaka backing in. Ochiaka up with the right hand and in. Just overpowered Floyd Davis straight to the basket. Casimir Ochiaka is on the board for the first time. There's Shimon Garrett on the outside for the Crimson Wave. Garrett walks to the right. Working against Ochiaka. Dribbles in with the left hand. He pulls up in the paint and can't get the roll. Rebound to Ochiaka. He passes off to Maxwell Topia. And Rehana Maxwell Topia makes his way down the floor, guarded closely all the way by Jabari Hill. Hill playing very tight defense. Here's Joaquim putting the ball behind his back. Steps off to the right. Long 2. Too strong. Rebound to Reggie Lowry. Here comes Shimon Garrett. Working with a 5-point lead. Garrett passes off to his left. 3-point attempt is good from Floyd Davis. Davis makes it an 8-point Calumet advantage. And a timeout is called by the Fighting Saints. 11:40 to play in the first half. And Calumet St. Joe's is hot. It's a team that got off to a very slow offensive start. They did not score for the first 3 minutes as they went 0 of 7 from the field. Since then, they've made 8 of 10 shots. And they just hit on their second 3-pointer of the game. Floyd Davis is a perfect 4 of 4 from the field and leads all scorers with 10. So the Fighting Saints will try to play catch up during today's game. Just an 8-point deficit. 11:40 to play in the first half, and they come out of the timeout with Rehana Maxwell Topia getting set to inbound against a full court Calumet press. Crimson Wave off to a good start today, looking for their first victory of the season after they dropped their first 3. Justin Phillips sends it ahead to Joaquim, inside low. Ochiaka has it stripped, gets it back. high posts. He turns around and is blocked out of bounds by Reggie Lowry. Saints will keep it with 16 on the shot clock. Phillips inbounds to Ochiaka. Back to the basket. Now he turns to face the hoop. 12 to shoot. Passes up top. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia's got 5 seconds. Cross over to the left side. 2 on the clock. Phillips forces up a 3. Short. Gets the rim, though. Saints can't keep possession alive. Floyd Davis pulls in a nice rebound. Ahead for Shaman Garrett. Garrett's pass is picked off. It's Joaquin taking it the other way across the timeline. Streaking down the floor. Layup is good in the face of Shaman Garrett. Beautiful drive there to make it a 6-point game. Here's Shaman Garrett. Up top to Dylan Hill. Around to the left side, Reggie Lowry. Spinning around a couple of defenders. Shaman Garrett can't finish at the hoop. And the ball is knocked out of bounds by Floyd Davis. It will belong to the Fighting Saints. Nadav Gurner, the junior point guard from Israel. Back on the floor as Justin Phillips grabs a seat. Maxwell-Topia can't find Lewis McGlasson. Saints throw it away on the inbounds play. Calumet takes over possession. Third turnover committed by St. Francis today. Dylan Hill bounces it into Jabari Hill. Hill not successful on the first attempt, but he got it back. Second chance is good. Jabari Hill has got his first 2 points tonight. Gurner ahead for Joaquin, but he can't haul it in. And the pass is taken away by Floyd Davis. Davis is called for the travel. Lost his balance there. And he ended up bowling the ball out of bounds, even if the traveling hadn't been called. It would have been a turnover one way or another. Crimson Wave keep the full court pressure defense on. Maxwell-Topia finds Nadav Gurner in the backcourt. Gurner works against Dylan Hill down the floor. Gurner splits the double team, shovels it down low to Maxwell-Topia. Nice fake, but he's turned away by Davis. Big block, Floyd Davis. Possession does go back to St. Francis as Calumet could not control the rebound. But a great defensive play by the Crimson Wave. And the Saints will try it again with 20 on the shot clock, 9:52 to play in the first half. Season opener for the Fighting Saints. Gurner's pass is intercepted by Reggie Lowry. Lowry all alone in the front court lays it in. Calumet has built a double-digit lead for the first time today. They've led most of the way so far. It's now 23-13. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia struggles with the handle, and it's stripped by Jabari Hill. Slowed down by the Crimson Wave. DJ Shelton passes it out to Dylan Hill. Hill passes off to his left. This is Lowry. Lowry's runner does not go, but he's fouled.
St. Francis foul number 23, Casimir Ochiaka, his first, team four.
Ochiaka called for his first foul, fourth on St. Francis. Reggie Lowry's got 2 free throws coming his way. First one is good. Lowry just 2 of 7 from the foul stripe this year, including that make. Carter Fahey checks in for the Saints. He's joined by Okito Marshall, who enters for Calumet. Lowry misses on the second free throw, and the rebound is deflected out of bounds by the Crimson Wave. St. Francis is shooting just 31% for the game so far. Trying to turn things around. It's lobbed in for Don Joaquin. He streaks to the hoop, stripped from behind and foul. First foul on Okitho Marshall, junior transfer from Judson. And Don Joaquin will get a pair of free throws. He transferred in from Olive Harvey College from Joliet. It's to play at home here as he makes the first free throw. 2 for 2. (24-15), the Crimson Wave have the lead and the ball. Dylan Hill crosses half court with 2 seconds to spare. Covered by McGlasson. Here's DJ Shelton. Hand off to Dylan Hill. Hill walks to the right. Passes it off to Reggie Lowry. Lowry, step back 3. Rims out. Rebound Carter Fahey. Fahey into the cutting Joaquin, who can't complete the catch, but he does pull it in, scores, and he's fouled. Not able to handle the initial pass, but a good recovery. And he'll try to make this a 3-point play. 4 points in the game for him. Make that 6 now to lead the team. This for number 7 is no good. 7-point game. Calumet will try to add to that lead as they take the ball down the floor. So Keitho Marshall passing to his right. Jabari Hill. DJ Shelton resets things at the top. Passed over to Shaman Garrett. Garrett's got just 12 seconds to work with here. Around a screen to the left side, picked up by McGlasson. Step back 2-pointer for Garrett, perfect. Nice shot by Shaman Garrett. Calumet stays efficient offensively. Rihanna Maxwell Topia down the floor, lays it off for Carter Fahey. 3 defenders in the area, takes the shot anyway, blocked from behind, and out of bounds on Fahey. He was blocked by Jabari Hill. The block did not initially go out of bounds, but as Fahey tried to get it back, it did trickle out, so second chance is not to be for the Fighting Saints. Calumet's got a 9-point lead. They try to extend it. Lowry on the run, gets the roll. Pretty drive from Reggie Lowry. The Calumet lead is extended. Maxwell Topia working in the backcourt with Nadav Gerner, and a timeout is called by the official. There's a lot of St. Francis to make a substitution here. Aitor Anabadarte comes in for Rihanna Maxwell Topia. (28-17). The lead belongs to Calumet. The officials will get together and talk this thing out before we continue. We are ready to go. I'm not sure what the initial stoppage was about. We'll play on. Shot clock at 20. Nadav Gerner gets it across half court. His pass deflected. Joaquin chases it down to half court. Here's Carter Fahey. No look pass to the cutting Lewis McGlasson, who finishes strong at the rim. Beautiful pass from Fahey. Nice finish for Lewis McGlasson, who scores for the first time. Shaman Garrett walks it to the left. Garrett drives. Garrett pulls up in the paint. Turnaround on Fahey is good. Nice drive. Shaman Garrett. Garrett entered play today, averaging 11 points per game, second most on the team. 3-pointer is good for Don Joaquin. He's got 9 points so far in the game. Lead is 8 for Calumet. Thrown out of bounds. Garrett coughs it up. A rare mistake for Shaman Garrett here in this first half. He's played well. Timeout called by Calumet's College of St. Joseph. 6:37 to play in the first half. It's a 30-22 game in favor of Calumet. Kind of a disjointed start to today's game. Neither team could get into an offensive rhythm early on. Calumet changed that. As time went by, they got hot from the field. And they are shooting over 50% for the game now. 13 of 18, very impressive run after their 0 for 7 start. So they're at 52% total right now. Fighting Saints are at 40%. But they've started to heat up a little bit too. They're 3 of their last 4. It's Gerner, Charles, Joaquim, Fahey. And that's all on the floor for St. Francis right now. You figure they'll want to fit. There he is, Aitor Anabadarte. I was looking on the floor. I forgot somebody had to throw the ball in. So they do have 5. That's always helpful. Lobbed inside for Anabadarte. Double team. He's got the size advantage. Kicks it outside to Fahey. Carter Fahey picks up his dribble. Puts it up on the outside. Knocked away from Joaquim out of bounds, but last touch by the Saints. So they turn it over for the 7th time today. Casimir Ochiaka checks back in for the Fighting Saints. So does Darius Wright. Pull-up jumper from the corner is short from DJ Shelton. Rebound grabbed by E.J. Charles. Charles averaged 6 rebounds a game last year. Nadav Gerner looking for Ochiaka inside. Easy pickoff for Floyd Davis. Davis going the other way, lays it high off the glass, no good. Amidst the pressure from Charles and Anabadarte. Gerner takes control of possession once again. Didn't see Floyd Davis the last time he had it. Ended up throwing the ball away. This time he hands it to Darius Wright, and Wright knocks down his second 3-pointer of the game. Just a 5-point deficit now for the Fighting Saints. They're hanging around in a game they've trailed by as many as 11. Charles pokes it away from Shelton from behind and out of bounds on St. Francis. Fighting Saints' only lead so far tonight was at 2-0. Antonio Buckley checks in for the first time and immediately gets his hands on the ball as he inbounds it up top to David Nelson. Nelson drives left side. His runner misses, but he's fouled. Hit on the arm by Casimir Ochiaka. Second foul on Ochiaka. It's the 5th on St. Francis. Nelson goes to the line here. David Nelson scored 4 early points for Calumet. Hasn't made a free throw yet this year until now. He's 1 for 4 on the season. Good start for Calumet. 0-3 on the year coming into play today, but they're getting closer. It took overtime for Roosevelt to knock them out last week. Second free throw misses. Rebound is nearly lost out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Ochiaka and Charles fought with each other over it. But Gerner was able to chase it down in the corner right along the sideline. Here's Ochiaka on the drive, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. 7th foul on Calumet puts St. Francis in the bonus.
Personally foul number 33, David Nelson, his second, team 7.
One and one here for Ochiaka. His first free throw attempts in a St. Francis uniform. High arcing shot misses off the back iron, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds, and that was last touched by Floyd Davis. Credit to E.J. Charles for putting the pressure on Davis, forcing the ball out on him. So the Saints will have 20 on the shot clock as they inbound from the sideline. Trailing by 6. They've scored 6 of the game's last 7 points. Darius Wright fakes the shot, loses the ball, diving on top of it. Antonio Buckley keeps it alive for Calumet as he picks up a steal. Down the other way along the baseline, reverse layup, no good for Reggie Lowry. Calumet has slowed down offensively again. For the second time today, they've gone over 3 minutes without a bucket. Knocked around and stolen by Buckley. Charles was trying to find Aitor Anabatarte on that pass, but didn't get it up high enough. Nelson passes off to his left. This is Shimon Garrett. Garrett works against Nadav Gurner. Drives down low, poked away by Charles. The ball knocked out of bounds, and I think we've got a foul on Calumet here. That is a loose ball foul. So that means that St. Francis will get free throws out of it, or at least one free throw. First foul on Floyd Davis. Darius Wright will get a 1-and-1. First shot for Wright, no good. Saints struggling on the free throws here. That's the second time they've missed a front end. David Nelson pulls up from the free throw line and misses the jumper. It almost went in off the first bounce, but he does end up missing the shot. Here's Wright. Over to Charles on the left side. Guarded by Floyd Davis. Down low, Ochiaka. Help coming from Davis. Ochiaka throws it up off the glass, no good. 3 defenders in the way. Ochiaka could not get a good look. Good deflection by E.J. Charles, and the Saints come away with another steal. Darius Wright fires it inside. Anabatarte down low towards Ochiaka, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Crimson Wave. 23 on the shot clock for the Fighting Saints, who bring Joaquim and Rihanna Maxwell-Topia back off the bench. Charles and Aitor Anabatarte sit down. Justin Phillips on the floor now for the Fighting Saints as well. Phillips tries to get it into Darius Wright, but it's picked off. O'Shawn Lee takes it the other way. Trying to roll it in off the top of the backboard, no good, but Davis is there, and his putback makes it an 8-point Calumet lead. Their first basket in 4 minutes of game time. St. Francis wasn't able to take advantage and go on a big run. They haven't scored in nearly 3 minutes. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia dribbles it to the left side, off to Darius Wright. Wright, step back jumper from the baseline, air ball. Offensive rebound, Maxwell-Topia fires it outside to Ochiaka. On the drive, we've got an offensive foul. Casimir Ochiaka just kind of lowered his shoulder and barreled into David Nelson. Nelson took the charge. It's another St. Francis turnover. They've turned it over 12 times in this first half. They're shooting just 39%. 12 turnovers in the first half. When you look at those two numbers, you can see why it has not been a productive offensive game for them, but the fact that they're still in it is encouraging, just because they have not had any success offensively. But they find themselves one hot shooting stretch away from perhaps taking the lead in this game. They're wiping up a wet spot on the floor right now with 2:41 to play in the first half. Calumet got hot for a while offensively, but they've slowed down. Crimson Wave has made just one of its last 6 field goals. We play on here. 8-point lead for the team with the ball. This is O'Shawn Lee. Lee crosses over on Justin Phillips, kicks it to Nelson, left wing 3, rims out. Rebound bounces out to Phillips. Darius Wright on the move, Wright in traffic, fouled, going up. So Darius Wright will get 2 free throw attempts here. Saints are just 4 of 7 from the line so far, so free throws have not been particularly kind to them in this first half. 2 of their misses were on the front end of a 1-and-1. But Wright does make the first here. This time it was not a 1-and-1, but important to make the first one just the same. Jabari Hill is back in for Calumet. Second foul shot from Wright is good. So after missing last time, he makes them both this time around. 8 points for Darius Wright. Dribble to the top of the key. Lee passes to Nelson. Down low, it's Davis in the post. Davis kicks to the cutting Jabari Hill, and Hill lays it in. Beautiful backdoor cut there from Hill. Davis able to find him and extend the lead back to 8. It's been as big as 11. Pass to Carter Fahey is deflected, taken away. 13th turnover of the game for St. Francis. Hill hands it to O'Shawn Lee, and Lee slows things down. In the post, Nelson working against Fahey. Nice move on the turnaround. Gets the soft roll off the back iron. 7 points for David Nelson. Lead is back up to 10 for the Crimson Wave. Here's Rihanna Maxwell Topia bouncing it to Darius Wright at the free throw line. Wright spins and is tripped. No shot. But it is the 10th team foul on Calumet. So he'll get 2 foul shots anyway. Foul is called on Jabari Hill. Darius Wright has 8 points in the game. He's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Also 2 of 3 on 3-pointers today. That's how he's gotten his points. And he makes the first foul shot here. Last season, Darius Wright made 81% of his free throws. He'll be right on track if he makes this one. 4 of 5 for the game. Would put him at 80%. He does make this one. So Darius Wright becomes the first player for the Saints to reach double figures today. He's got 10 points. His side trails by 8. Nelson, far from the basket, hands it off to O'Shawn Lee, and Lee sets up the offense. Nelson back to the right side, Reggie Lowry. Lowry drives on Charles. Charles gets in his way, does not allow the shot to go. Saints come away with it. Fahey pushing it ahead. Darius Wright down to the corner. Joaquim spins around Floyd Davis. Kicks it to Fahey. Carter Fahey on the drive. Banks it home. Probably the final possession of the half for the Crimson Wave. They've led just about the whole way. Runner is no good from O'Shawn Lee. A little bit out of control that time. Did not get the rim. So as the rebound is knocked out of bounds by St. Francis, the shot clock will not reset for the Crimson Wave. It's at 15 seconds right now. 28.7 on the game clock for the first half. Steal by Aitor Anabadarte. He jumps in and takes the pass away from Floyd Davis. A 3-pointer would make this a 1-possession game going into halftime. Saints trailed by at least 2 possessions pretty much the whole half. Wright with 6 seconds does fire the 3. Short. Rebound tracked down by Don Joaquim, who spins around a defender and loses the handle on it. And the first half is over. Saints keep it close despite not shooting well, despite turning it over a lot more than they'd like. They hang in there with a Calumet team that got off to a great start over the first 10 minutes of today's game. Built a double-digit lead. It's down to 6 as we head into the intermission. 37-31 with 20 minutes of basketball still to be played. We'll commence the second half in about 15 minutes now, so I will step aside for the moment, back with first half stats and second half action shortly. St. Francis trails Calumet St. Joe's 37-31 at the half. Halftime here at St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you for another half of basketball. Happy to be with you on this beautiful Tuesday evening in Joliet. So far, so good for Calumet. They lead St. Francis 37-31 at the half, led by Floyd Davis, who had a whale of a first half. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals for Floyd Davis. He came into play today averaging 7.6 rebounds a game, so not Pauper's numbers, but still nothing that would indicate he put together a half like that. He was sensational, 5 of 6 shooting. Calumet as a team, 16 of 36 overall, 2 of 7 from three-point range. St. Francis shot 40% from the field in the first half, 10 for 25, 3 of 7 from the outside. One of the things that kept them in the game, a lot more opportunities from the free throw line. They went 8 of 11, although they did miss the front end of a 1-and-1 on a couple of occasions. Darius Wright leads the team with 10 points. Carter Fahey and Aitor Anabararte each have 4 rebounds to pace the squad, and Nadav Gerner leads the way with 3 assists. However, he's also turned it over 3 times in his 10 minutes out there. St. Francis has their work cut out for them. They've trailed just about the whole way. They scored the first basket of the game, but the 2-0 lead was their only one. Calumet led by as many as 11 points in the first half, and of course it's 6 at the break as we're ready to start the second half here. St. Francis going from left to right now. They get the first possession. All 5 starters on the floor for the Saints. Nadav Gerner dribbles it off to the left side. Gerner guarded by Shaman Garrett, passes back up top. Darius Wright over on the right wing. It's E.J. Charles, who had a quiet first half, trying to get going here. Leading scorer returning from last year's team. This is Gerner with 10 to shoot. Out to Darius Wright, and Wright knocks down his 3rd three-pointer of the game. 13 for Darius Wright, and the Saints are within 3. This is as close as it's been in a long time. See if Calumet comes out firing in the second half. First offensive possession for them. Floyd Davis up top to David Nelson, and Nelson shuffled his feet. Traveling is called against the Crimson Wave. So the Saints have the ball now with a chance to tie it up. We haven't been tied since it was 2-2 with 17 minutes remaining in the first half. Just under that. Here's Carter Fahey passing inside. Aitor Anabararte is fouled by David Nelson. Beautiful pass right there by Carter Fahey to set up Anabararte inside. Couldn't quite finish, but he'll get a chance for 2 points anyway. Aitor missed all of last season with an injury, so this is the first time he's been at the foul line in a long time. 2 points so far in the game. And the first free throw attempt rattles out. St. Francis is playing its first game of the year. For Calumet, this is the 4th game of the regular season. They had an exhibition last month as well. Anabararte misses them both. David Nelson grabs the rebound. It's already the 4th conference game for Calumet. Or its 3rd conference game, rather. They took on Huntington in a non-conference matchup, but they've also lost to Roosevelt. I'm actually looking at their schedule now, in Bethel, which is not in the CCAC, so I had it wrong. 2nd conference game, 4th game overall. Spinning is O'Shawn Lee putting up the jumper. Nice drive by Lee there, 4 points for him. Came into play today leading the team in scoring, averaging 12 points per game. Nadav Gerner dribbles it to the free throw line, picks it up, tries to get it to Carter Fahey. The pass is deflected, and Darius Wright trying to dive on top of it, knocks it out of bounds. And now the other referee comes over and reverses the call, because it actually went off of David Nelson, not Darius Wright. So possession will stay with the Fighting Saints. 12 on the shot clock. Down by 6 at halftime. It's a 5-point game right now, just 2 minutes into the second stanza. E.J. Charles inbounds to Aitor Anabararte. Anabararte walks it to the top of the key, drives, floats it up off the backboard, no good, rebounded by Nelson. Here's Shaman Garrett for the Crimson Wave. Off to the corner, Floyd Davis. Great first half. Davis hasn't gotten involved yet in the second half. Here he falls out of bounds. Thought he was fouled. Didn't get the call though. And so he is called for the turnover instead. Davis's third turnover of the game. 8th for Calumet. St. Francis has turned it over 14 times today. Big problem in the first half. They have not coughed it up yet here in the second. Annabeth Arce, backdoor pass to E.J. Charles, and Charles is fouled going to the basket. Charles a season ago averaged about 12.5 points, 6.5 rebounds per game for the Fighting Saints. Just 2 points, 2 rebounds in the first half of this game as a timeout is called by Calumet St. Joseph. 17:34 to play in the second half, 39-34. Calumet has the lead. They've led just about the entire way, but St. Francis is keeping it close. Here in the second half, E.J. Charles will head to the free throw line when we come back from this timeout. Charles, I mentioned, has been quiet today. Darius Wright has been the big performer offensively that has kept the team afloat. He's got 13 points on 3 of 6 from the field, including 3 of 5 from three-point range. And then Don Joaquin came off the bench in the first half, scored 9 points in 11 minutes. That was a huge boost to the Fighting Saints. Still trying to find their rhythm, playing in their first game of the year. Usually you see a few exhibition games before the first regular season matchup. Saints will head down south this weekend to Louisiana to play some exhibitions there. So they won't return home for another CCAC game for 2 weeks after this. E.J. Charles makes the first free throw. It's a weird schedule to start the season with a conference game and then to play your exhibitions and some non-conference opponents. Fahey grabs the rebound on the free throw missed by Charles. Fahey's layup misses. And the rebound goes to Shaman Garrett. So Charles comes up with 1 of 2. He's got 3 points for the game. Garrett, guarded by Gerner, gives it up to Lowry. Here's O'Shawn Lee. 13 on the shot clock for Garrett, who nearly lost his footing, but he keeps the dribble going. Now the ball is stripped loose on the floor. Annabeth Arce tries to fall on top of it. We got a big tangled up pile of bodies with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Possession will belong to Calumet on the possession arrow. That's not the best case scenario for St. Francis, but it's not a bad one. They flip the possession arrow to their side, and Calumet wins this possession, but with only 6 to shoot. Dorwin Smith checks in for Calumet. First time Smith's been on the floor this evening. Shaman Garrett heads to the bench. O'Shawn Lee is the trigger man here. Lee looking for Floyd Davis in the corner, overthrows him out of bounds. So Calumet ends up turning it over even after maintaining possession on the tie-up. St. Francis takes over possession with a chance to make this a 1-score game once again. Aitor Annabeth Arce handling the ball here. He bounces it across half court and throws off to Carter Fahey. Down low for Darius Wright, pass deflected out of bounds. O'Shawn Lee reached in, got his fingertips on it. Stays with the Saints. More than half the shot clock still to shoot here. Gerner bounces into Fahey. Fahey up with it, no good from the right side. Rebounded by Davis. Here's O'Shawn Lee lobbing it down low to Floyd Davis. Davis passes back outside, swung around the perimeter, and bounced into the post. It's David Nelson working against Carter Fahey. Nelson passes back outside. This is O'Shawn Lee with 8 to shoot, stepping up to the three-point line, working against E.J. Charles. Drives the lane, and he's fouled going to the basket. .22 remaining in this game. E.J. Charles is on the ground. He got called for the foul there, but he got whacked in the face as well. You can see him pantomiming an elbow to the face. He's got some blood streaming down his cheek at the moment, so he's got to depart for now. They're going to have to clean the blood up if any of that got on the floor. And they'll clean up E.J. Charles as well if they can do so in a timely fashion, he can get back into the game right away, but can't be out there with an open cut. So they'll wipe off the blood that is on the floor. And while E.J. Charles is being tended to by the training staff, it looks like Don Joaquim will check in for him. Joaquim had a great first half, 3 of 5 shooting, scored 9 points, provided some good energy off the bench for the Fighting Saints. And now he checks in as E.J. Charles picks up his first foul of the game. And gets a big wound as a result of it. Big wound sounds probably way more dramatic than I should, but he got a cut across the face. It's getting cleaned up right now. Free throws for O'Shawn Lee. He's got 2 of them coming his way. Lee's got 4 points so far this evening. There's number 5. 5-point lead for Cal St. Joe's. They led by 6 at the half. This whole game has been kind of disjointed. Not a lot of rhythm going either way except for a stretch about midway through the first half when Calumet was able to build their big lead. Second free throw is no good. Aitor Anabararte, junior center from Spain, grabs the rebound. Here's Fahey on the drive. Fahey to the basket, lays it in. Fahey's been very aggressive today. Hasn't shot the ball all that well, but a nice drive and a strong finish that time as a foul is called against St. Francis on this end of the floor. Foul on Joaquim, his first. I think that is second foul. Second on the Saints. Each team has 2. This on the floor, so O'Shawn Lee will inbound it. Lee finds Dorwin Smith. Floyd Davis at the top of the key. Guarded by Gurna, hands it off. Smith once again pulls up 12 feet out, knocks down the jumper. Nice pull-up shot from Dorwin Smith. His first points of the game, his first field goal attempt of the game. Fahey working against Jabari Hill, gets across the timeline. Double team, picks up his dribble, throws it away, and it's picked off by Lowry. Reggie Lowry takes it all the way in for the layup. 7-point lead for Calumet as they've scored the last 3. Saints looking to jump back into this thing on the offensive end, facing a tough Calumet trap. Joaquim open on the left wing, nice fake, steps in, 2-point jumper misses. And the rebound goes to Jabari Hill. Here's O'Shawn Lee for Calumet. Lee at the free throw line, fires it down to the corner. Reggie Lowry swings it back around to Lee. Left side is Jabari Hill. Hill picks it up. His pass deflected by Gurner, finds Dorwin Smith anyway. Smith unsuccessful trying to score over Anabararte, but an offensive rebound, another chance for Reggie Lowry, who misses short on the 3-point attempt. Saints are on the move. It's Joaquim taking it all the way and missing on the runner. O'Shawn Lee tried to draw the charge. Joaquim stepped right around him, but was not able to finish. Saints continue to struggle with their shot. They've been a pretty low percentage throughout the game, just 2 of 7 shooting in the second half. Anabararte reaches in, tries to take the ball away from Davis to no avail. Davis kicks it out to O'Shawn Lee. Back into Davis, up with the right hand, no good. Bodies flying all over the floor, no fouls called either way. Here's Joaquim out in front of the pack. He is blocked by Jabari Hill, who comes in from the weak side. Big time block by Hill. On the other end, O'Shawn Lee steps into a 3 and misses. Fahey grabs the rebound. Play continues. There's an injured man for Calumet, but Joaquim is all alone in the front court, and he lays it in. A lot of the players stopped because Floyd Davis was down hurt. Davis went down 2 possessions ago, and he just kind of creeped off the floor to the out-of-bounds line just to get out of the way. Play continued, and a lot of the players did not. They figured they were going to hear a whistle because of Davis's injury. But there was no whistle, and so when the defense didn't send anybody back to cover Don Joaquim, he ended up with an easy layup. That pulls the Saints to within 5, and now play does stop while Floyd Davis's injury is dealt with. Hopefully Davis is all right. If he isn't, it's a big loss for Calumet. He's been their best player throughout today's game. 12.7 rebounds, 5 steals in the contest for Davis, who is up and walking off the floor. Remember, the Saints are playing without one of their best players, E.J. Charles, who's had a rough night so far tonight, just 3 points and 2 rebounds in 16 minutes. But that's still a guy that you definitely want on the floor if you're Ryan Marks. He got a cut across his face. They're still working on getting that cleaned up before he can re-enter. Lewis McGlasson is on the floor for the Fighting Saints, as is Kazmir Ochiaka. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia back out there as well. So 3 subs made by the Fighting Saints, who trail by 5. Calumet has the lead and the ball. O'Shawn Lee drives, dishes down low to Jabari Hill in traffic, forces it up and scores. Nicely done down low by Jabari Hill with 3 defenders around him. Pass down low for Ochiaka is deflected from behind, but he's fouled by Okitho Marshall. Marshall tried to force the steal, came in from behind Ochiaka, got him with the body. Third foul on Calumet. Darius Wright inbounds it to Lewis McGlasson. 3-pointer, too strong. Long rebound goes out to O'Shawn Lee. First 3-point attempt of the game for McGlasson, who was very good last season from beyond the arc. McGlasson helps on defense there and contributes to forcing Smith to miss as he spins towards the hoop. Saints take it back over. It's Ochiaka inside, high off the backboard, no good. Jabari Hill stepped in and contested that shot. He's played well defensively here in the second half. Calumet's lead is still 7. Saints just 3 of 11 from the field this half, shooting 36% for the game. We've got a whistle and a foul called on St. Francis with Jabari Hill going up for the shot. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia sends him to the line. So each team has committed 3 this half. First foul called on Maxwell-Topia. Jabari Hill heads to the free throw line. Missed on the first one. Jabari Hill's getting his first free throw attempts of the season here. Seeing his first action of the season tonight. He's played well off the bench, but he missed them both that time, and now a foul called on Antonio Buckley. So he was fighting Don Joaquin for that rebound.
Foul, number 12, Antonio Buckley, his first, team score.
Maxwell-Topia lobs it into Darius Wright, and Wright walks it across half court. Swung around to the right wing. This is Joaquin, guarded by Buckley, and a foul called on Antonio Buckley. A little reach-in foul on Buckley right there. 4th on the Crimson Wave. Make that the 5th on the Crimson Wave. 2nd in a row on Antonio Buckley, and he checks out. Reggie Lowry is back in. Saints are hanging in there. They've not played well offensively in this game, but they've always been in shouting distance, and a chance at a 3-point play for Darius Wright. Big drive, strong finish. He's headed to the line. It's a beautiful cut from Darius Wright. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia able to find him on a pretty pass. Wright's got a game-high 15 points. Do I hear 16? Yes, he hits on the free throw as well. 4-point game. Saints have been as close as 3 in this half. They've trailed by as many as 11. That was back in the first half. They've not led since it was 2-0. Okitho Marshall's shot is blocked by Ochiaka, and the Saints are able to save it and start the break going the other way. Nice hands by Jabari Hill, jumping in front of Kazimir Ochiaka, knocking it out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Francis, but the Crimson Wave defense now is able to get back in position, preventing the fast break. Wright inbounds to Ochiaka in the corner, handed right back to Wright. Good defense by Davis, who's back out there after he left a few minutes ago with an injury. Ochiaka working hard in the post against David Nelson, fights one up and misses. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Calumet. Whistle blows before the inbounds play here. We've had a slugfest tonight. Neither team shooting the ball particularly well, specifically from the outside. In Calumet's case, they're 20% from three-point range. Saints just 37% shooting overall. Marcus Jefferson having a word with one of the officials. Calumet's head coach, his first year with the team. Darius Wright bounces in low to Ochiaka, who can't get the roll. He does grab his own miss in a lot of traffic. We've got a tie-up. Held ball, possession arrow favors the Fighting Saints. So it'll stay on this end of the floor. Shot clock resets to 20 off the miss. Darius Wright set to inbound it. Wright fires into the corner. McGlasson for three. It's good. And we've got a one-point game. First three-pointer for McGlasson. He's got 5 points in the game. Quickly on the other end, an offensive foul call on O'Shawn Lee. And now the Saints faithful getting fired up a little bit as St. Francis will take the ball back with a chance at their first lead in over a half. Timeout called by Calumet. A quick momentum shift off the held ball down underneath the basket. The inbounds play went to Lewis McGlasson, who hit the three, and then the charge on the other end sends the ball back St. Francis' way. That's the 7th foul on Calumet, which means that the Saints will be shooting free throws on fouls the rest of the way. St. Francis has committed only 3 fouls of their own. Darius Wright has led the team back from a double-digit deficit, 16 points for him. Don Joaquim is in double figures as well with 11. Floyd Davis leads Calumet scorers with 12 points, but he's been quiet for a while now. He leads his team with 7 rebounds as well. Fighting Saints have gotten some good mileage out of their bench tonight. They have contributed big during this recent stretch here. They have outscored the Calumet bench 18-11. And probably the biggest reason the Saints have been able to get themselves back into this game, just 1 turnover in this second half. They turned it over 14 times in the first. Neither team has turned it over as much here in the second. 21 total turnovers in the first half. Here in the second, I know we're only 8 minutes into it, but so far there have been just 5 of them. Saints' last lead was 2-0. That was about 25 minutes ago in game time. They've got a chance to reclaim the lead right here. Brianna Maxwell-Topia inbounds to Darius Wright. And here come the Fighting Saints. Calumet backs up the defense. Wright is met by Reggie Lowry just across half court. Wright looks to the high post, sends it off to Rihanna Maxwell-Topia, who makes a nice no-look pass to Lewis McGlasson. McGlasson trips his way out of bounds, though. No foul on Calumet there, so the Saints turn it over for the second time this half. 15th, make that the 16th time overall today. O'Shawn Lee sets up the offense for Calumet. Lee around a screen to the right side, picked up by Darius Wright. Steps back and hands it to Floyd Davis. They move it back into the corner. It's Jabari Hill. Shot clock under 10 for Lowry. Inside the three-point line, pull-up jumper for Lee. Banks it in. Two-pointer for O'Shawn Lee. Not the shot that Calumet was hoping to get out of that possession, but it all works out in their favor. As they do get the 2 points, the lead is back to 3. Here's Ochiaka inside. Ochiaka spins towards the hoop, blocked by O'Shawn Lee. Here's Calumet on the break. It's Davis against Maxwell Topia, one-on-one, and a foul called on the Saints. So following the timeout, Marcus Jefferson was able to sort things out a little bit for his team. Their 11-point lead had been cut down to 1. Saints had all the momentum, but it's turned back the other way here. Crowd's been once again nullified as Davis goes to the line for 2 shots. 12 points of the game for Floyd Davis. He made his only free throw attempt back in the first half. This to make it a 2-score game again, and he hits it. Just under 11 minutes to play. Carter Fahey back in for the Fighting Saints. Dylan Hill returns to the floor for Calumet. First time we've seen him, I believe, this second half. Nadav Gerner is out there once again for St. Francis. Davis misses the second free throw. So he hits 1 of 2. He's sitting at 13 points to lead his team. The Saints will try to cut into this deficit once again. Carter Fahey passes off to McGlasson. McGlasson hit the big 3 a few moments ago. He's got 5 points in the ball game. Bounces into the post to Fahey. Fahey backs in on David Nelson. Puts up a shot, draws the foul. Can't get the shot to go, but he will get an opportunity for 2 from the free throw line. Third foul on David Nelson. Carter Fahey does not get the bounce on the first free throw. Fahey's got 6 points in the game, 3 of 9 shooting. This is his first time at the line tonight. Last season he shot him at 68%. Misses them both. Maxwell Topia nearly had the rebound. Somehow it slips out of his fingers and David Nelson comes away with it. So here are the Crimson Wave on the run. Jabari Hill takes it into Fahey. Can't get it, but the offensive rebound and putback is there for Floyd Davis. Davis now has got 15 and 8 rebounds. And the lead is back up to 6 for Calumet. They've scored the last 5 points. Maxwell Topia puts an end to the run. A nice little leaner off the glass to the left side. Pretty drive for Rihanna Maxwell Topia, scoring his first 2 points of the night. And naturally his first 2 of the season. Saints keep it close. They have all night. They've not allowed Calumet to pull away, but neither have they been able to wrest that lead from their hands. Dylan Hill misses too strong on the three-pointer, an air ball. Offensive rebound. The shot clock does not reset. It's under 10. Hill out to O'Shawn Lee at the top of the key. Lee puts it on the floor, drives left side, shovels it off to Nelson, who finishes with 2 on the shot clock. Great setup by O'Shawn Lee, and David Nelson is able to knock it in. 7 points for him. Make that 9 now for David Nelson. Maxwell Topia works against Nelson outside, and he's fouled by Jabari Hill. So Rihanna Maxwell Topia is headed to the free throw line. 9th foul on Calumet. So this will be a 1-and-1. Every foul from here on will be 2 free throws for the Fighting Saints, who themselves have only committed 4 fouls. So free throw shooting could be a major factor in this game if the Saints want to pull off this comeback against a Calumet team that's looking for its first win of the year. Calumet fell in overtime to Roosevelt the last time they were out there last week. 102-95 was the final score in that game. So their offense so far today has fallen a little bit short of what they were able to accomplish last week as Maxwell Topia scores from the free throw line. His 3rd point of the game. He scored the last 3 for the Fighting Saints. The defense has picked up considerably for Calumet, though. Maxwell Topia misses on the 2nd free throw. They entered play today averaging to allow 96 points per game. Saints aren't going to come close to that, barring a couple of overtimes. O'Shawn Lee bounces off to David Nelson. Nelson pulls up in the lane, misses the jumper. Fahey grabs the rebound, and he's fouled by Nelson. That's his fourth. So Fahey will get 2 free throws on the other end. Nelson's in foul trouble. And the Saints can cut it to 3 if Fahey makes both of these. E.J. Charles is back on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Charles left a while ago after getting cut on the face, but he is no longer bleeding. So good to see him back out there as Fahey knocks down the first of 2 free throw attempts. Aitor Anabedarte and Darius Wright reclaim their spots on the floor. They're out there with Gerner, Charles, and Fahey. 5 starters playing for the Fighting Saints. 9 minutes to go in this one. Saints are within 3. They've been as close as 1. Biggest deficit has been 11 points. In the second half, they've been down by as many as 8. It was a 6-point game at halftime. On the runner, O'Shawn Lee is fouled by Nadav Gerner. So he's going to the free throw line. St. Francis so far in this game is plus 11 in free throw attempts. They have not shot their foul shots well today. Just 13 of 22. 2 of their misses were the first in a 1-on-1 opportunity. So they've had the opportunities from the line to seize control of this game, and they haven't taken them. But Calumet has not shot well from the free throw line either. They're now 5 of 12. 16 total free throws in the first half. This is already our 20th free throw combined here in the second. Gotten very physical. 15 total fouls. Saints are in the double bonus. Calumet has only been fouled 5 times. 1 of 2 for O'Shawn Lee gives him 8 points and gives his team a 4-point advantage. Nadav Gerner gives it to Darius Wright. High post, it's Aitor Anabedarte working against Lowry. Nice bounce pass inside. Fahey can't finish. Gets his own rebound, misses a second time. Here's Anabedarte, third opportunity of the possession, and he puts it in. The Saints are within 2. Here's O'Shawn Lee. Lee pulls up just inside the free throw line, knocks down the jumper. E.J. Charles went for the steal on the outside, over pursued. And Lee was able to create a nice look for himself. He's in a double figures now, second Crimson Wave to hit 10 points. Floyd Davis leads the side with 15. 4-point deficit for the Fighting Saints with the ball, under 8 minutes to go in the game. Darius Wright steps into a 3, misses it short. Quick shot from Wright that time. Here's Lee working against Gerner. Lee hit the big jumper on the last possession. Pulls up this time and passes, gets the ball back with half the shot clock used up. Here's Shimon Garrett. Garrett hasn't seen the floor much here in the second half. Lee steps back into a 3-pointer, it's perfect. O'Shawn Lee has scored 5 in a row to pull the Calumet lead back up to 7. Here's Nadav Gerner passing off to E.J. Charles on the left wing. Handed back to Gerner. Gerner lobs it for Charles, looking for the alley-oop. The pass came in a little bit short, and Charles was fouled on the play. So he'll get 2 free throws. Saints bailed out a little bit right there on the foul call against Floyd Davis. The alley-oop pass did come in short, but Davis undercut Charles, and so E.J. gets a couple of free throws. He misses on the first free throw. All of his points have come from the line tonight. He's 2 for 3 on foul shots. Charles from the field tonight is just 0 for 1 in 18 minutes. Last season, he scored over 12 points per game and did so on 9 field goal attempts per game. He's been shut down so far tonight by the Crimson Wave defense. He makes his second free throw. 59-53. Charles actually 4 of 6 now from the foul line. All of his points have come from there, as I mentioned. Lee's pass deflected by Gerner. Anabadarte comes away with the takeaway. Darius Wright met by Shaman Garrett. He picks it up along the baseline, lobs it out to Nadav Gerner, who resets the offensive possession. 20 to shoot. Charles on the right wing, tries the three-pointer. No good with a hand in his face. O'Shawn Lee on the defense. Here comes Calumet. Jabari Hill out to O'Shawn Lee, who traveled. 6.5 minutes to play here. We've got a 6-point game and a timeout called by Calumet. 59-53. Calumet has led this one throughout. Last time the Saints were on top was at 2-0. Calumet built the lead as big as 11. Back in the first half, it was 30-19, but the Saints righted the ship after that. They have, on several occasions, gotten to within one possession, including at one time cutting the lead all the way to 1. It was 45-44. And then Calumet got hot again, and that's kind of the way it's gone. St. Francis has made a run. Calumet has responded. Going back and forth like that throughout this second half. Crimson Wave pulled off an upset of St. Francis, 59-58. Out in Indiana almost a year ago today. It was November 10th of last year. One of Calumet's 4 wins on the season came against the Fighting Saints, and they caught the Saints at the right time here if they want to pull off the upset again. Of course, I call it an upset now. I don't really know how these teams are going to turn out. We're so early in the season. Maybe by the end of the season, they'll be a major CCAC contender. Who knows? They haven't been in recent years, though. But this is their 5th game of the year, including their exhibition win against East-West University last month. St. Francis is still getting their sea legs under them. They have not played yet this year, so for Calumet, again, they're catching them at the right time. A team that certainly in the first half looked a little bit out of sync. They have not shot the ball well in the second half. They've played a better game, but the shots just aren't falling. They've only turned it over twice this half, but 32 field goal percentage during that time. They're down by 6 with the ball. Here's Aitor Anabadarte passing off to Nadav Gerner on the left wing. Down low to Carter Fahey. Fahey works against Jabari Hill. Turns to face the basket. Takes a couple of dribbles, forces up a shot, and draws the foul. Fahey has remained aggressive, just 3 of 11 shooting. But he has done a really good job of forcing the ball inside. It's the 3rd time that he's gotten himself to the free throw line this half. Just 2 of 4 from the line. And he'll take his 5th and 6th attempts here after the trainer heads across the court. I think Charles might be bleeding again. So he's got to get Charles cleaned up once more. And in the meantime, Don Joaquim will check in. So Carter Fahey at the free throw line, 50% tonight, 63% last year. First game of the season for the Saints. Carter Fahey misses on the first free throw. Free throws continue to be a bugaboo for the Saints. Again, they've been a problem for Calumet as well. They're shooting just 46%. St. Francis at 56% as Fahey makes the second. It's on a lot more attempts for the Fighting Saints. They've missed 11 foul shots, and that's costly when you're down by 5 points. O'Shawn Lee sets up the offense for Calumet. Here's Shaman Garrett. Handing it off to Reggie Lowry. A lot of side-to-side action for the Crimson Wave. A little weave on the outside. Lee with 10 on the shot clock. Makes a move to the right. And he's called for the carry. Second time in the last couple of minutes that O'Shawn Lee has turned it over. He traveled a few possessions ago. This time he picked it up. 14th time that Calumet has committed a turnover today. So the two teams are just about even there now, with the Saints doubled up the turnover count for the Crimson Wave in the first half. Darius Wright, high post to Carter Fahey. Fahey backs in. Turnaround over Jabari Hill, he got it. It's a one-possession game yet again, 59-56. Calumet will try to extend it here with Reggie Lowry handling the ball. Lowry walks it into Aitor Anabadarte at the free throw line, drives, kicks out to O'Shawn Lee. Lee looked like he thought about that three, didn't take it. Now he steps back, pulls up at the free throw line, jumper is too strong. Rebound tipped out to Nadav Gerner. Gerner's off to the races, slows it down, shovels it out to Darius Wright, and Wright's pass is off of Floyd Davis's foot, out of bounds. Three-pointer would tie the score here. E.J. Charles checks back in. Nadav Gerner heads to the bench. So Darius Wright will take over the ball handling duties as he lobs into Carter Fahey down in the corner. Fahey turns to face the basket, working against Jabari Hill. Fouled by Hill. Double bonus for the Fighting Saints. Fahey goes back to the free throw line. This will be his 7th and 8th free throw attempts this half alone. He's made 1 of 2 on average tonight. He makes the first here, so an opportunity to knock them both down. This would make it a 1-point game. David Nelson comes back in with 5 minutes to play. Nelson's been on the bench the last few minutes after picking up his 4th foul. And Fahey hits them both this time. Timeout called. St. Francis 59-58, our score, 4:59 on the clock. The Saints are back to within 1 point. They've been here a few times tonight. Haven't been able to score that next point, get over the hump, tie it or take the lead. We've seen 1 tie tonight and 1 lead change. They both occurred in the first 3.5 minutes of action. Saints led 2-0. Calumet came down on the next possession, tied the score at 2. And that was part of an 8-0 run for the Crimson Wave that gave them an 8-2 lead, and they have not looked back. They led by 6 at halftime, led by as many as 11 in the first half, and it's been a 1 or 2 possession game pretty much the entire way in this second half, but always with Calumet on top. Saints have outscored them 27-22 in the second half, despite shooting just 35% from the field. Calumet is shooting 47% in the second half, but they've turned it over 7 times compared to the Saints twice. And they have committed 13 fouls in this second half compared to St. Francis's 5. Huge advantage at the free throw line for St. Francis. They are plus 11 in points at the free throw line, plus 15 in attempts. But it was the foul shooting, even though they weren't shooting at a high percentage. It was the foul shooting that was keeping them alive for a long time, and it just kept them in it long enough that they are in good position right now to try to overcome this deficit. It is Calumet basketball, and every time they've needed a bucket tonight, they've gotten one. Let's see if they can pull it off again right here. Shimon Garrett will take it down the floor, shadowed loosely by E.J. Charles. Now a trap at half court, and the Saints looked for an instant like they had forced the turnover, but Charles kicked it. So it'll stay with Calumet. Dorwin Smith inbounds it to Shimon Garrett. Garrett immediately trapped in the corner, gets it away to Davis. Floyd Davis's pass is deflected. Joaquim on the deflection. Carter Fahey picks up the loose ball. Saints can lead here. First time they've held the ball with a chance to take the lead. Fahey misses short on the three-pointer. Rebound chased out of bounds by Joaquim, and he cannot save it. A valiant effort by the junior guard who made a diving attempt. Couldn't quite pull it in. The Saints, who had cut the deficit to 1 before, had immediately seen Calumet score after that. That last possession was the first one where they had a chance to take the lead in a long time. They were not able to score, but their defensive intensity has picked up, putting on this trap. That ball is knocked out of bounds. Another inbounds play coming up for O'Shawn Lee. Gets it into Dorwin Smith, right back to Lee. He sets it up. Trapped again by Charles and Joaquin, and this time a foul is called on the Fighting Saints. It's only their 6th. So Calumet is not in the bonus just yet. Dorwin Smith is the inbounder once again. 21 on the shot clock. Here's Shaman Garrett. Quiet day for Garrett. Bounces to Davis. Kicked outside, right wing. It's O'Shawn Lee. Lee looking for Davis. Good defense from Anabadarte. He finds Dorwin Smith instead. Smith shovels it out to Davis. 4 to shoot. Lee to Davis. Davis drives, trips, and a foul is called on Aitor Anabadarte. Tough call against him with 1 on the shot clock. It looked like Davis lost his footing before the contact. And that is the 7th, so that puts Calumet in the bonus. 1-1 here for Floyd Davis. Davis is a team leading 15 points tonight. Big free throw coming up right here. He missed it, and the rebound belongs to the Fighting Saints. So with under 4 minutes to play, they once again have a chance to take the lead. They have not been ahead since it was 2-0. Charles walks up to the three-point line. Now drives on Nelson. Nelson with 4 fouls. Charles works his way to the basket and rolls it in. E.J. Charles with his first field goal of the game gives St. Francis a 1-point lead, their first lead in over 30 minutes of game time. A foul called on St. Francis puts Calumet right back to the free throw line. This time it's O'Shawn Lee. Missed free throws have been so critical for both teams tonight. None bigger than the front end that Floyd Davis missed on the last possession. Now Lee gets a 1-1. This for the tie. And he made it. 1 more for the lead. Lee's got 14 points tonight. He's come on strong here in the second half after scoring just 2 in the first half. O'Shawn Lee's a good free throw shooter, but he makes just 1 of 2, and a foul called on Calumet on the rebound. That's on David Nelson. That's his 5th, and it will send St. Francis down the other way so they can get 2 free throws. What a turn of events right there. 1 second, Calumet has a free throw attempt with a chance to take the lead. The next second, they're given 2 free throws to St. Francis, and their starting center has fouled out. Aitor Anabadarte is 0 of 2 from the line tonight. 4 points, 7 rebounds in his return to action. First time he's been out there in a couple of years. Ryan Marks will use his free time out here on the foul out, calling his team over to the sideline while he waits for Marcus Jefferson to make his substitution. It'll be Jabari Hill coming in for Nelson. Hill is playing with 4 fouls as well. Nelson fouled out with 9 points, 8 rebounds in 22 minutes of action. And now a chance for St. Francis to reclaim the lead. First free throw's good. This next one would match the largest lead of the game. Calumet led by as many as 11 points back in the first half. Not able to hold it. Now we'll see if St. Francis can hold their narrow lead with just over 3.5 minutes to play. 62-60. Shaman Garrett trapped, passes out of it to Lee. O'Shawn Lee works around the perimeter, slows it down, finds Garrett. Garrett thought about the 3, passes out to Lee. Lee gets around Charles, loses his footing, but gets rid of it in the process. Garrett drives, kicks to Lee. 7 to shoot. Injured player down, Jabari Hill. Forces the stoppage in action. Hill went down. I didn't see when he went down on that play, but he was down on his knees right at the top of the key. And so with 7 on the shot clock, the whistle blew. He was in a dangerous spot right there. So the officials did not want to see the possession play out before stopping it. Favor in the right leg right now. That's what they're looking at. 3:15 to go in the game. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Calumet St. Joe's basketball when we come out of this injury break. 15 points for Floyd Davis. 9 rebounds lead the way for Calumet. Big game for Davis today. 6 of 8 shooting, but he has attempted only 2 shots here in the second half. O'Shawn Lee has taken over. He's 4 of 6 from the field in this second half for 14 points. Saints have gotten a lot of their work done from the free throw line. They've scored 11 of their 31 second half points from the stripe, which has allowed them to recover from just a 36% rate from the field. 16 points for Darius Wright, 13 for Carter Fahey, who's 1 rebound away from a double-double. Don Joaquim's got 11 in his St. Francis debut. Jabari Hill is being carried off the floors. It's never a good sign that he's not able to put any weight on his legs. They'll check on him on the sideline. Already minus David Nelson, who fouled out. They're without Jabari Hill now. You would think for the rest of the game, there's only 3 minutes and some change remaining. And when a guy cannot walk off the floor on his own, it's hard to imagine we'll be seeing him again over the final few minutes. So Crimson Wave will go with Smith, Garrett, Lee, Davis, and Lowry here. Anabarte almost tipped it away. 3 seconds on the shot clock. They have to get a shot off quickly. Davis's runner misses. Fahey grabs his 10th rebound of the game. So the Saints are in control now with just a 2-point lead, but with the ball after they've trailed almost the entire game. They are in great shape down the stretch with under 3 minutes to play. Aitor Anabarte, nice drive, but comes up short on the layup. And a foul is called on whom? It's against St. Francis. I don't know who it went on. Aitor Anabarte is called for the loose ball foul. It's the 9th on the team. That means we're going down the other way for a 1-and-1. Reggie Lowry will get the free throw attempts. Lowry is not a good free throw shooter. And it shows on the first one, he missed it. Rebound tipped outside, a battle for it. Held ball, it's going to stay with Calumet. Lowry now just 1 of 3 from the line today, 2 of 9 for the season. E.J. Charles a little slow to get up on that last one, but he's okay. Shot clock is at 20 for Calumet. This is really the start of their possession. Ball came down here on a loose ball foul on the rebound over on the other end. So the possession began with the free throw. The missed free throw was the start of it for Calumet. But as they had the possession error, now they'll start their possession really for the first time, even though technically this would be second chance if they were able to score. Nadav Gerner comes in for E.J. Charles. Saints go small here. Crimson Wave are going pretty small as well. A couple of their big guys are not available right now. Here's O'Shawn Lee. Driving to his left. Lee's layup rims out. Rebound, Anabarte. Calumet has gone ice cold down the stretch. Darius Wright hugging the sideline. Picks up the dribble, bounces out to Anabarte. Here's Joaquim on the left side. Shot clock at 10. Dribbles to the free throw line. Jumper deadens at the rim and falls. He's got 13. Saints have their biggest lead of the night, 64-60. Shaman Garrett forces his way inside and draws the foul. A lot of starts and stops down the stretch here. Loads of free throws in this second half. We've seen 24 fouls called. And both sides are in the double bonus. Calumet is just 4 for 12 from the free throw line so far this half. Make it 4 for 13 as Shaman Garrett misses the first one. I've talked about St. Francis' struggles from the line, keeping them from taking the lead a lot earlier than they did. Now Calumet's faced with the same quandary as Garrett ends up with 1 of 2. Hard to complete a comeback if you can't make your free throws. They trail by 3. Full court pressure. Gerner lobs it across half court to Joaquin, who travels. Took a big step before firing his pass. The full court pressure defense works out exactly the way Marcus Jefferson drew it up. 3-point game. The Wave can tie it here. Although they have not shot the ball all that well or all that much from beyond the arc, just 3 of 12. Lee drives left side, scores, and a foul. So without even having to take a 3, they can tie it up here. O'Shawn Lee continues his big second half, 14 points since halftime. Timeout call. It's a full timeout with 1:51 to play. St. Francis hugging on to a tight lead, 64-63. They trailed just about the whole game. They led 2-0 and then did not get their next lead until 62-60. They built it up to 4, but Calumet, thanks to a free throw and then that O'Shawn Lee drive just moments ago, is down by just 1. Coming out of the timeout, Lee will be at the free throw line to try to tie the score. He's just 3 of 6 from the line today, but he's one of the better foul shooters on this team, 75% on the year coming in for a team that has shot just 60% on free throws on the season. Today, they've shot only 42% from the line. It's been a continuing storyline. Foul shooting has been huge for both sides, has not been particularly good for either side. St. Francis, though, has shot just 37% from the field this half, and they clawed their way back from a 6-point halftime deficit thanks to their 11 free throws. They've outscored Calumet 33-26 since the break. Lee is in position at the line, waiting to take his attempt at tying the score. 16 points in the game, tied with Darius Wright for a game high. Shooting for number 17 right now. Free throw misses again, and the rebound goes to Gerner. Lee now just 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Crimson Wave are shooting 40% on their free throws. A big break for the Fighting Saints, who continue to lead by 1 point. Aitor Anabedarte is held inside by Floyd Davis. He'll go back to the line. Anabedarte 2 of 4 on his free throw attempts today. First foul shot is good. Saints have not been great from the line tonight, but when it's counted most down the stretch, they've been hitting their free throws. Calumet has not, and that's been the difference. Anabedarte goes 2 of 2. It's back to a 3-point game. 66-63, 90 seconds to play. Shaman Garrett and O'Shawn Lee working back and forth against this trap. Lee's pass inside deflected, but somehow picked out of the air by Floyd Davis. Shaman Garrett for 3 and the tie, he got it. Just the 4th made 3-pointer today for Calumet, but it evens the score at 66 with just over a minute to play. The Saints try to clear half court, they do. Joaquin takes it inside, gives it up last second to E.J. Charles, and Charles finishes with a layup. Saints back in front, 68-66, under a minute to go. Garrett hit the big three a moment ago. This time he passes to Lee. O'Shawn Lee steps back. Now drives on Joaquim, pulls up in the lane, controlled jumper, missed it. And Joaquim comes away with a rebound. He's across half court. Trying to split the defense, it's taken away from him. Ryan Marks wants a foul, it is not forthcoming. O'Shawn Lee drives around Anabadarte to the basket, missed it too hard off the glass. And a foul is called on Calumet on the rebound. O'Shawn Lee had a chance to tie the score on the drive. He drove nicely around Aitor Anabadarte, could not finish at the rim. Don Joaquim is hurt for the Fighting Saints. It's been a busy day for the St. Francis training staff. But he's able to pull himself up and walk down the floor. Looks like he might remain in. Aitor Anabadarte has been good from the line the last two times down there. He's hit them both. Floyd Davis just picked up number 5. So Davis has done 16 points, or rather 15 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals, and 3 assists. He had a great game. Just an outstanding first half. And he played well in the second half as well, maybe not quite as aggressively, but it's a big loss for Calumet with 30 seconds remaining, and Anabadarte trying to salt this thing away. If he makes them both, it would be a 2-score game. He's halfway there. Nine points in the contest. 5 of them have come from the free throw line. 9 points, 9 rebounds for the junior center. And now he's got 10 points. 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Here's Shimon Garrett. Garrett passes off to O'Shawn Lee, off his hands. He's able to keep it alive. Into the corner. Three-pointer for Hill is a little bit short. Rebound grabbed by Anabadarte, number 10 for him. He passes off to Darius Wright. Wright trying to run away from the foul, but they got him. Reggie Lowry gets the arm. And St. Francis trying to pump up the crowd right now as they recognize that they apparently are on their way to their first win of the season. It was not an easy one tonight. Hard fought. They trailed almost the entire game. But with 4 minutes remaining, they were able to wrest that lead away from Calumet. And this has been the difference down the stretch. They have been making their free throws. Crimson Wave have not. 71-66, the biggest lead of the game. The most crucial time in the game. Darius Wright misses this one, but he chases down his own rebound, and that should do it. It doesn't look like Calumet is looking to foul. Darius Wright holds it, and that's the ball game. 71-66, our final score. St. Francis comes from behind to pick up the win, and their season opener was not pretty all the way through today. They turned it over 14 times in the first half. They struggled to shoot the ball throughout the game, but as I've been talking about these last few minutes, free throws in critical moments were the difference. Calumet ended up just 5 of 15 from the foul line in the second half, and that absolutely killed them. St. Francis, who struggled with their foul shooting all night, got hot late. They ended up going 16 of 25 in the second half, 24 of 36 for the game. Overall, the Saints shot 40%. Calumet 44% for the game, just 4 of 14 from three-point range. The Saints were 5 of 13 on three-pointers. They out-rebounded the Crimson Wave 47-37. That includes a couple of players with 10. Both Carter Fahey and Aitor Anabadarte finished with double-doubles today. Anabadarte 10 points, 10 rebounds. Fahey 13 points, 10 rebounds. Darius Wright led the Fighting Saints, and he led all scorers with 17 in today's game. Calumet was led by O'Shawn Lee, who finished with 16 points. Floyd Davis had a double-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds. He also had a team-high 3 assists and 5 steals in the game today, but not enough for Calumet, who falls to 0-4. They're getting close. They dropped their last one in overtime to Roosevelt, and today they held the lead for about 35 minutes of this 40-minute game, and ultimately not enough to knock off St. Francis, who wins this one 71-66. They improved to 1-0 on the season. They're headed out onto the road for a series of exhibition games down south. They're going to Louisiana this weekend. They'll return home to resume conference play on November the 22nd. So that'll be the next time we've got St. Francis basketball through the USF Sports Network here. As always, you can get your updates through GoFightingSaints.com. I got our next broadcast coming up Tuesday, November the 22nd. Thanks for tuning in to today's game. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves as the Saints pull off a season-opening 71-66 victory. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from the University of St. Francis. Enjoy your evening.